Hey, what's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to talk about another free tool that is offered that you can use entirely free. There's no payment whatsoever. And you can use this to track every piece of data on your website, basically. And you've probably heard of it before. It's called Google Analytics. Except, I'm not just talking about Google Analytics in general. I'm talking about one particular component of Google Analytics that I think is a real game changer for people trying to optimize their website, especially when you're trying to optimize for things like user experience and user intent, right? So user experience optimization and user intent optimization, this is basically getting your website to not only rank for things, but to make it user-friendly ultimately, because nowadays Google is really looking for a great user experience. They want to see sites with low bounce rates. They want to see websites that are pleasant on the eye. They want to see sites that keep users engaged and active for long periods of time. So, you know, regular SEO only goes so far. You can only optimize title tags and, you know, certain on-page components so long before you have to start looking at other things like user intent, user experience. Now, the beauty of Google Analytics does a lot of things. I'm sure you know it does, you know, it keeps track of all the different sorts of traffic data on your website, from page views to, you know, bounce rate to session duration to all the way to conversions and goal completions, which is ultimately what we want to see. But the beauty of this piece of analytics that I'm going to talk about today is that it essentially works as a heat map. Okay, so this is called Page Analytics, and it's a Chrome extension. I've talked about Chrome extensions before. If you're not a fan of Google Chrome, I don't really know what to tell you. This is something that you have to use in the Google Chrome browser. But I mean, you can just use Google Chrome for this extension if you'd like. You can obviously use your other browser for whatever else you're doing. So Page Analytics works like this. It's a little Chrome extension. You click it to turn it on, and you connect it to your Google Analytics on your website. Now, I'm not going to explain how to install Google Analytics on your website. That's pretty easy to find out how to do. In WordPress, it's super easy. But let's say you have it on your site already and you have the tracking in place for Google Analytics. Well, all you have to do is get this extension and hook it up to your Google account, and it'll start pulling this data for your website. But the thing is, it'll only show data for the website that you're on. So, you know, here's my website. Let's say that I'm on a different site. It's not going to show me this data. It's only going to show me when I'm on this website, which is nice. So you can see that I'm on the home page now, and it's listing all, you know, some of the main categories for Google Analytics, which is helpful. But this thing goes to another level. So like I was saying, it helps out with user intent and user experience optimization because it essentially shows you a heat map of your website. Now, what's a heat map? This is basically a representation, a visual representation of where people are clicking their mouse on your website. So what links are they clicking on, right? You want to find out where people are naturally going. And then from there, that gives you a better indication of, okay, I need to optimize this. I need to make this better. I need to, you know, make this button look more attractive so it draws more clicks. You know, this is essentially the data that really helps you optimize your website. And there's a lot of paid heat map services out there, and many of them are very good. But if you're just looking for very simple stuff, like are people clicking on my links, what percentage of people are clicking on my links, one link versus the other, then you can just use Page Analytics, and it's going to show you all this stuff. So you can see here, we scroll down, we hover over the home page, and it says 60 clicks. So 49% of all clicks are going to back to the home page. And you can see going on down, the About page, 2.5% of clicks are going to the About page, 1.6 going to services, okay? 3.3 going to location pages, 22% going to my blog page, you know, 4.9% going to the contact page. So from this, you can say, okay, here's where people are clicking. So I need to go in, I need to optimize, you know, these particular pages a certain way. And you can see it all the way down your page. You can see here with some of the links. You can see, you know, for the buttons, you know, obviously the buttons are very important because this is these are our call to actions, right? So your call to action buttons lead people to take an explicit action on your page, a specific action on your page. And Page Analytics is a great way to see how many people are clicking on those calls to action. So you know how to optimize them based on this info. And it's really, really, really useful. But again, it shows all your in-context links, what people are clicking on. You know, you can see all the way down the page. And it's just really helpful for that. So you can understand, you know, I might say, well, only 0.8% are clicking on my Oceanside page. So maybe I should beef up this description a little bit better, versus a pretty large percentage are clicking on this link. So, and you can notice in this link, this goes to an SEO page based on Chula Vista, but the anchor text only says Chula Vista. So maybe people just want to click on the city name versus something that has SEO, because SEO might look a little more like I'm trying to optimize it for that term, right? Because I am, of course, but you know, you want to balance optimization with user experience. So I could look at this and say, well, people aren't clicking on this as much. Maybe, you know, maybe it's because the anchor text is not what it should be. You know, it could also be that there's just not as much search volume looking for that too. So there's things you have to weigh. But I really love this feature in analytics. It's something that I didn't start using until recently. It even shows your site links on the bottom, which is kind of fun. And this is a helpful way to see, you know, the user intent across your entire website. Where are people looking for content? And of course, it coincides with all the other analytics data you can access, like bounce rate and average time on page, unique page views, and all that other sorts of stuff. But you can see, like if you're building a link silo, you can look under, you know, your main page, like here's the locations page, and you can see where within the silo people are clicking most, right? So I could say, oh, well, no one's clicking on this, you know, Temecula link, so maybe they're not, maybe the user intent is not based in Temecula, or they're not looking for that specifically. It looks like a lot of them are based in Chula Vista. Okay, so maybe this is a bigger kind of money term. So I should probably focus on Chula Vista more than Temecula, for example. You know, Oceanside seems to be a pretty popular term as well. And you can gather, you know, data about your users based on that. So yeah, again, this is just a really nice tool. Now I'm sort of looking at it as a website owner, but you can also use it on your blog post, right? So you go to your blog page, you can click on, let's go, I think this article is a little bit longer. Try this one. You can see who's clicking, you know, continue to read, right? Who's looking at these blog posts, things like that. Probably not a lot of people on these particular posts because these are kind of short, but you can see it's gotten a few views, and people are clicking previous post, 14%. So you know something interesting here. You can see that a lot of people are clicking on these breadcrumbs, and you know, it's kind of a debate. People say, well, do you need breadcrumbs or not on your website? And you know, I think to that end, I would say yes, because you know, clearly you can see that there's some people clicking on these breadcrumbs. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was reading stuff. You can see that people are clicking on these breadcrumbs, so you know that, okay, well, I should probably keep including breadcrumbs because they seem to be drawing clicks. And because a lot of people will go to this page by mistake maybe, and they'll say, oh, I want to go back to this category or the blog page, and they'll go back that way. But anyway, this is a quickie. I just wanted to walk you through this element of analytics. This isn't going to be a whole analytics tutorial, even though analytics is great, but this is just one component of analytics that I think everybody can benefit from, you know, regardless of whether you're an SEO professional or a website owner or whomever. This is just a nice way to see user intent. It's a nice way to gauge user intent and the user experience on your website, because those are very important SEO factors in 2018. So that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it. Since this is a 2018 specific video about SEO tools, I wanted to talk about a tool that, you know, deals with those two really important SEO components in 2018 and beyond. So thanks for watching. I hope this made sense, and go ahead to your Chrome area and download this. It's really fantastic. Page Analytics is what it's called. and I'll see you on the next video.